Tuesday back in my normal room with a camera that works. Hurrah, hurrah, we are back in business. It is lovely to meet you, new students. I hear we had about 3,500 new students come to the primary. It is going to be amazing when I get to meet you all in person. But for now, I am Mrs. Bates. It's lovely to e-meet you. I think that's what people are calling it these days, virtually meet you. I am the performing arts teacher here at British School of Washington, and I have been given the very important task of keeping you all entertained when you get home every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon with my fun-filled performing arts videos. So last term, everybody, we had some amazing musical theatre lessons that culminated in some even more amazing videos from yourselves. Thank you, thank you, thank you, people who are still at home, bringing the performance, bringing the jazz hands, and letting me see all your singing, dancing, and acting at home. As I promised, we have got a new topic for this term. This will take us up to April. And as my trusty TV shows us, it is called Around the World, Around the World. There is a song no one was born for, Daft Punk. We are going around the world. So how this is going to work is this. We will do, as always, about 10 minutes of drama, 10 minutes of music this time, not singing. And although sometimes some singing might get involved, and 10 minutes of dance. And each of those, we were going to travel to a new part of the world and explore their way of doing the arts. So you are welcome again to follow along and film yourself of your finished performance in 6 weeks' time. But we better learn what we're doing first, shall we? So let's get started. Okay, my lower primary lovelies. We and drama are going to find out where our first country is that we will travel to. There's a couple of clues on the board here. We've got a map of the place and we've got its flag. Maybe you are from this place. If you don't know, welcome to Greece. So Greece is in Europe. You can see it's bordering Albania, Macedonia, Bulgaria, Turkey. If you've been to any of those places, I don't know, maybe you've been on holiday there. It's very common for British people to go to Greece. I don't know about other countries. Maybe you have been. So, Greece is the home of ancient Greek theatre masks. So, in drama this half term, we are going to be looking at some mask work. And here's some examples of masks from ancient Greece. Now, before we get moving, we could do with some facts on what all of this means, can't we? We know that it's in Greece, but we don't know when is ancient Greece? I don't know. Well, hopefully this PowerPoint's going to tell me. And what does that mean? What did it look like in those days for drama? Because drama can have so many different forms. So, the theatre of ancient Greece was at its best from 550 BC to 220 BC. That, my friends, is a long time, like as in before I was born, way before, like 2,500 years or something. Okay, so a really, really, really long time ago, lots and lots and lots of years ago, theatre was still happening and the ancient Greeks had it down. They knew what was going on. The English words for tragedy and comedy, have you heard those words before? So tragedy is like, it's tragic, maybe you've heard, it's like sad story. Comedy, is a funny story. Those words actually come from the Greek language. So we got them from the Greeks. That's kind of cool, isn't it? Although the Greeks were not the first to perform plays, they were very interested in where tragedy and comedy comes from. And most of their plays went one way or the other. And if you think back to movies you've watched, most of them probably are really sad or really funny. So still now, 2,500 years later, we are still thinking of the things that the ancient Greeks really thought about. Only men were allowed as actors. So think about how much time has changed. the actors wore masks so that people would know which character the actor played. So obviously you can't have a play with just all guys, because hello, women do things too, you know. In fact, you wouldn't exist without women. So they had to wear masks so the audience could work out what kind of person they were. And that's kind of what we're going to be looking at when we make our own mask. So my friends, we are going to make our own masks today that we can work with for the rest of the half term. I am going to show you, Blue Peter style, another reference to something you probably weren't born for, how to make a Greek mask. You're going to need some things, so you might want to pause the video. I will talk you through how to make your mask and what you're going to need now. All right, me lovelies, so we're going to do a little bit of arts and crafts to start us off. But once we have our Greek mask made at home that is individual to you, we can start to look at how we can use it. So I'm going to talk you through what you're going to need for this process, and then you might want to pause the video while you go and find things. I will then also move the camera, so you don't really need to see this muggins, do you? So you can see my hands and what I'm doing on a bit of a close-up shot, or at least that's what I'm going to attempt. All right, so you are going to need kind of a large piece of card. It doesn't have to be this large, but we need the mask to be slightly bigger than our face. So it needs to be at least like, well, you've got a smaller head than me, probably half of that. You can use paper, but it might not last as long. You'll have to be super careful, but that's okay. If you've got card, like a piece of card that size would be awesome. You are going to need a pencil to draw your mask with. I've got a hole punch that will help me to start cutting out the eyes and the mouth. So you might want something, I mean, I've got grown-up scissors where I can kind of stab it to make a hole, but I'm thinking if you've got children's scissors, which I really hope you do, you might need a hole punch or get your grown-up to make the hole for you so you can start to cut out. Scissors, of course. I've got some glue. I've got some string. You can use like elastic if you want to, maybe some yarn or wool would work, so we can attach it to the back of our heads, just anything like that. And then I have brought an eraser in case my drawing doesn't go very well, but maybe if you're amazing you might not need that. All right, let's learn how to make our mask. Okay everybody, so let's make our mask. Hopefully you can see everything you need to. So I've got my piece of card, and the first thing I need to do is draw a nice big oval shape on the edge of the piece of card or paper. So we can leave a little bit left for what we might need as decoration later. It needs to be at least the size of your face or bigger. So an oval is basically the shape of your face, or kind of like an egg. So I'm just going to really roughly do a kind of face shape, okay? And the next thing we'll need to do for that is to cut it out. So try and stay as close to the lines as possible. And of course you can pause this at any time if you need more time. And you can also, trying to keep forward with the camera, don't forget you've got your eraser if you want to give it another go. Hopefully this one's big enough for my big head. A little bit longer at the bottom than I'd originally planned. And there we go. So the next thing we need to do is we need to fold it in half, down long ways. And this is to try and get things neat. We are going to draw an eye and half a mouth on one side of our mask. So you need to make the eyes large enough to see out of, and the mouth is going to have a large exaggerated expression. So you want to think about a big happy smile or a big sad angry mouth. So we are going to make an eye. Think about where your eye is in your head. nice big space for me to look out of, and a big giant smile. All right. Now, when we fold our paper back in half, when we cut this, hopefully it's going to go through both sides. So let's try first with our mouth. So we don't want to go too close to the edge. Just be very careful. And we'll cut this bit out. Yay, our big smile has worked. Now the tricky bit, that was on the edge, so that's not too bad. Our eye is in the middle, so this is where it kind of gets difficult, okay? I did have the hole punch earlier and I practiced it and I don't think it worked very well. You might need a grown-up for this. But what I've tried to do is you need to try and kind of poke a hole with the scissors to get through. Being very careful. If you've got child scissors, which I'm assuming you have, they might not be sharp enough to do that. So you might need a grown-up at this point. So now that I've made a little bit of a hole, hopefully that's enough for me to cut around my shape. Oh, Mr. Hernandez, you have not given me very good scissors here, man. Email. Maybe it's the mask police coming to take me away because I'm making this look like such hard work. I think I need a bit of a bigger hole, don't I? So I'll just make that a little bit bigger. So we can hopefully now wedge the scissors in. Oh, we're getting there a little bit better. So I'm going through both sides of the card. Or at least I'm certainly trying, people. It's doing it gradually. I think mine might not quite be the shape that I'd hoped, but it's going to be some kind of shape that I can see out of anyway. Ooh. You need a lot of strength. It's a good job we've been doing our dancing, isn't it? All right, so now then we open that. Yay! There is my smiley face. I've got a big happy one. Okie dokie. So you can try it to your face. Obviously, I can't show you at the moment because the camera's not on my face. Make the eyes bigger if you need to, or adjust them so that you can definitely see out of. Now, you can obviously hold this to your face at the moment, and that will work just fine. Or another option where we've got this string is if you are able to poke a tiny little hole at the side of the mask, you can tie some string around and then you can tie it to the back of your face, which I'm going to give a little try. Give me 2 seconds to lift this up and work out where it needs to go on my face. Okay, mine kind of need to go just at the bottom of the eye. So I'm going to try and poke a tiny little hole. Tiny little hole that side. Again, you might need your grown-up to help you. Tiny little hole on that side. And then I'm going to use some string, cut 2 pieces. I think I'll use that side and rub out the ends. So if I can try, ew, I don't like the end of the string. And poke this through my tiny hole. Hopefully you can still see that on the camera. There we go. Make a knot. My goodness, this Blue Peter thing is more difficult than I thought. Perfect. And then you might want to trim off the end a little bit so it's not so messy. There's my one side. And then I'm just going to do that on the other side as well. So get another piece of string. Poke it through if you can. I need to cut the end off again. Make a hole so we can fit in. There it goes, that's a bit easier. Tie or knot. Pull it through and cut off the end. Oh, stop following me around, pair of scissors. And there we have our mask. Now you might have realised you've got lots of spare card left. And what we can actually do is we can make decoration. Now, with the Greek theatre masks, they should always be left white. So we try not to colour them in because that's just the colour that they are. But you've got loads of bits of card to add crazy bits of hair, add a little tash. We've got our glue. You can really go to town with the detail of what you want to add onto yours. Okay everybody, hopefully you've now made your mask. You can see that I did some groundwork I just couldn't cope with filming anymore, to be perfectly honest. It was stressing me out. That whole doing it like live is horrendous. So I'll just zoom in a little bit. I've added like a little curly tash to mine just by cutting out strips of cardboard and then roll it around your pencil. When you move the pencil away, it's super, super curly. And then I also put in some like leaves because I feel like the Greek time, the Romans wore like leaves in their head. And I kind of copied off one of the examples on the TV too. So there's lots of examples here. You can see there's curly hair on either side. There's like a big nose put on this one. This one's got a sad face. So you do you. If you like arts and crafts, you can make as many of these as you want. That was our drama time used up and it didn't feel super, it was dramatic me trying to make that live. But we are then going to look at how we can use these in theatre in next lesson. So when you're done, check it fits, people. Woohoo! We are ready to go. All right, lower primary, so music, and let's travel to a new country. We again have got the map and we have got the flag, if any of you recognise this. Welcome to Senegal. Senegal is in Africa. I have to say, I've never ever been to Africa. On the to-do list, people. Perhaps not to, well, I say not today, virtually we are there, we are going there. We're going to feel some Senegalese music. So, with that in mind, we're really going to focus on the drum rhythms of Senegal. And you can see here some of the pictures and examples of the types of drums. Perhaps they look a little bit different to your favourite rock stars or what you see in music videos. And we're going to explore that. And hopefully we're going to get finding some things around the house in later lessons and hitting some rhythms and seeing how we get on. Let's have some quick Senegal facts. So Senegal is on the coast of Africa, so the coast is by the sea, and its music has influences from the French. So loads and loads of things, inspirations for dance and music comes from immigration, which is where people travel to different countries. So just like I'm not from America, but I live here, a lot of you guys might not be from America and you live there. A lot of French could sail their ships and land in Senegal because it's right near the sea, like we said, and then they start to bring their language and their taste, their food perhaps, their singing and their dancing and their drama, and the Senegalese people might take a little bit of it but keep a bit of them, and that's how things fuse and create their own cultures. It's super, super cool. There are 6 main groups in Senegal, ethnic groups, so like kind of groups of people that live together that have the same kind of beliefs, maybe speak the same language, and they have different religions and different musical influences. So there's 6 main groups that have their own kind of music. And it's kind of like a little bit, if we think about maybe the UK, Scotland, it has the bagpipes, and that's not really known for anywhere else in the UK. Of course, Irish music was so close to Ireland, but they have jigs and fiddles that are completely different to them. So even though we all live close together and we speak the same language and we have a very, very similar culture, if not the same culture, there are little threads that make us who we are in our little small group, and that's what happened in Senegal too. The piece of music we are going to focus on is from the Jola group, J-O-L-A, Jola group, and it's known as a Bulguro, B-B-O-G-O-R, which is a dance of celebration, which we all like. So it's going to be celebration music that we're looking at. Okay, let's get moving. So, the first thing that we need to focus on is one versus many. And our picture kind of helps us here. We've got one little chick and we've got many chicks, okay? You're thinking, where's she going with this? I promise it links to the music, okay? So that we get used to one and many, lots of things. I'm going to say these words at random and you have to find something in your room, in the house that you are in now, that is either one of something or many, okay? So, there might be one couch. There might be one TV. There might be one book stand. There might be many flowers in a vase. There might be many books on the book stand. There might be many light fixtures in your ceiling. I'm giving you some clues here, okay? So I'm going to point to one or the other. And you've got to quickly scan and find something that fits in that group, okay? So here we go. One. Find something where there's only one. One of me? Okay. One. Find another thing that's just one. Many. What is there many of in that room? Got some ideas? Okay, let's go a bit quicker. One. Many. Many. I think many's hard. One. One. Many. Did you find that many things? It depends how many things are kicking about in your room, I suppose. I mean, I'm in the dance studio. I've showed you it before. It's absolutely full of junk. Useful things. So, I could probably play that all day in this room, but we should move on. Okay, so we understand our one and our many. The next thing we're going to think about before we listen to some music is call and answer or call and copy. So, what is the difference between copying something and answering something? Have a little moment to think. So I'm going to ask you to copy me, and then I'm going to ask you to answer me. What's the difference going to be in our task? Let's find out, shall we? Okay, so we're going to try and show the difference. First, you are going to imagine you are my reflection in the mirror. So I've come to stand in my bathroom mirror in the morning, and you are it. So everything I do, you are going to copy, and you're going to try and do it at the same time. So in the mirror, if you waved, it doesn't take a second and wave. It does it at exactly the same time, okay? So let's give this a go. Ready? Did you get there? Look at me with my washed hair and it down. I never have it down either. I will put it up for dance, I promise. Okay, did you copy me exactly? I think maybe it was easier when I did it slow, huh? Okay, now you're going to answer me. So you're going to watch what I do and then you're going to do exactly the same back after. I'll make it clappy and beaty. So listen, you don't have to do it at the same time. So wait and then go back. Okay, ready? Did you get it? Okay, so that's watching back and then doing it after. These are super, super important in music and in dance and sometimes in drama too. So we have to get used to the differences. Okay, so in our last game, you repeated everything I did. Now it's time for you to do something different. So we're going to do call and different answers. So if you think about it, then that was my call and you answered by going. But if I said to you, hello, how do you feel today? You wouldn't answer me going, hello, how do you feel today? You'd say, oh, I'm fine, thank you, how are you? You would answer different, wouldn't you? So now let's think about a question and an answer. So I'm going to do something and you have to answer me different, okay? So don't copy what I do. So if, for example, I go clap, clap, you might come back with clap, clap, clap. Okay? So whatever I do, wait, and then come back with something different. All right, ready? Here we go. Perfect. Was it tempting to copy me after we just played the last thing? So we now have 3 options, don't we? We have copied exactly, well, mirrored when we do exactly the same thing. You've said the same thing back to me after me, and you've also said a different thing after me. So now let's link it to our music because we haven't got a lot of time left. So I'm going to play you a piece of music. And this is call and copy. So just like when you pretended to be my reflection when we went back and forward with the same thing. Let's have a listen and see if we can hear where that comes in.
Yo, 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 kamiga kolu mata sobiei. Yo, kamiga kolu mata sobiei. Yo, yo, kamiga kolu mata sobiei. Yo, kamiga kolu mata sobiei.
All right, did you hear it? Oh, it's about to go again. Okay, so what we're going to try and do now is we are going to wiggle one finger when one person sings. Remember our one and many? And we're going to wiggle all our fingers when we hear many people singing. Let's give it a try, people.
Yo, kamiga kolu mata sobiei. Yo, kamiga kolu mata sobiei. Yo, kamiga kolu mata sobiei. Kamiga kolu mata sobiei.
Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to hear a call and answer when the response is different. Let's have a listen to our music first. it was kind of like one guy was asking the question and lots of people were responding with something different. So let's do different hands this time. So when the one guy's saying something, one finger wiggles, and when many say something different, are different hand wiggles. Let's give it a try. Trying to make that a bit of a dance as well. I was feeling that music. All right, everybody, super, super well done. We've started to think about the structure of the music and how it can sort of develop so that there's not just one person doing the same thing all the time. Brilliant work today, team. Lower primary, we are on to our dance slot, and we've got a couple of clues here of where we might be travelling to. The flag and the famous boot can only mean one thing. We are going to Italy. Controversial, I thought. This was something I learned new. Italy is the original home of ballet. Ballet. Not France. My whole life I thought ballet was from France. And you say all the words in French, but it actually came from Italy first. Let's find out a little bit about it. So, we've lost a little bit of the screen. Ballet is only done by dancers who have had very special training, which you are about to get. Look at you. It began in Italy in around 1500, so it's like 500 years old. But it soon moved to France, and all our dance moves are said in French. So I think most people would say it's from France, to be honest. But apparently that's not true, according to Mr. Google. Ballet involves the creation of dance itself, and it often has an imaginary story. So if you like drama, you will often think about stories and how you can show it through your moves. The stories helped with the dance and with mime. So pointing, crossing arms, all this. We can't talk, so how can we tell the story through our movements? It presents the story in a new way to the audience, which kind of makes it interesting. And ballet is always performed to music, which I've got lined up for us. And in many cases, the music was specially composed for the ballet. So you would approach a composer, someone that makes music, and say, this is my story, can you make music for me? And then the dance would be made to that music. It is a major part of theatre, and a popular example is the Nutcracker. Perhaps you've seen some ballet. So, my friends, we are going to ballet. You can see that hair is back. All we need to do now is move that camera back and start moving. Let's do it. Ready? Lower primary, here we are in my dance space. My hair is back, my dance shoes are on, although I did forget my ballet shoes today. And I have got my ballet bar. So we need to set up a few things before we get moving. What we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of exercises to get warm, and then we're going to learn a routine a little bit every single lesson. I don't think we'll get to starting the routine today because I've had to talk a little bit about what we're doing, but that is going to be what we're going to happen. So first of all, you're going to need a bar to do your warm-up. So you can use the side of a table, the edge of a chair, the back of a couch, anything where you can lay your hands on, okay? So that's something you might want to pause and have a think about. The second thing we need to think about is how we're going to be stood. So ballet dancers do not have their feet turned in parallel, toes facing forward like the way we would walk. They turn them out. So let's find our natural turn out, friends. So we're going to start by sitting on the floor with our legs stretched out in front of us. And then can you naturally let your legs flop to the side? So just nice and relaxed. So your toes are kind of pointing out to the corners maybe. And then you're going to put lots and lots of tension in your legs and flex your feet. There is your ballet first. So that is your natural position that you're going to stand in when we get up. And everybody's hips are different. So some people's will be like that. And some people's will be like that. And that's cool. What we're not going to do is force them out like that, because that's where we get knee injuries. And Mrs. Bates can tell you all about that as a young girl. But not now. So keep your feet parallel, rock forward on your toes, and then one swift movement, you're going to lean back on your heels and turn your feet out. There is my ballet first. And maybe you can think about the muscles in your leg like ribbons, and they're all turning out, and they're all going like this. So this is how we are going to stand in our ballet first position. This is where we're going to be a lot of the time. So don't let those toes creep in. They have to turn back out to our ballet first. Okay, so the first thing that any ballet dancer does is the pliés to warm up. Plié in French means to bend. So I shall bring my bar forward like this so you can see. And we are going to place both hands on the bar. It tells us to face the bar. This is a bit low for me, not to worry. I'll move it up after class. So we're going to lightly place our fingers in the, so we're not holding them for dear life. And we've got our beautiful first position with our toes. So a demi-plie, rise a demi-plie, I'll show you a second. So demi means half. So we're going to bend our knees and we're going to create this nice window. We're not going to let our heels come up. So bend your knees. Now is your back nice and straight and your tummy tucked in. So we're not going any of this. Woo, suck it in. Pretend you're sliding down a wall. So we're going to do a bend, come back up. We're going to rise onto our toes. Woo, think piece of string pulling you up. Come back down. We're going to do another bend and stretch. Then we're going to take this foot out to the side. So slide, imagine there's a pencil on your toe. Slide and land. This, my friends, is second position, where the feet are apart. We're going to try exactly the same moves in second position. Bend, rise, bend, and move back to our first where we began. So bend, and up, and rise, and down, and bend, and up. Point our toes, and in. And we might want to do it the other way as well. My bar isn't big enough. So that we're working both of our feet. Shall we give that a try with the music? Nice and gentle and soft. Let me find la musica. Here it is. Is it loud enough? No. Oh, I shouldn't do that, should I? Bear with. Beautiful, gentle music. All right, let's try that again. Okay. Feet check, posture check, hands lightly on the bar. And bend and stretch. And rise and down. And bend and stretch. We're going to dégage 2 seconds. Let's go again. Bend and stretch. So we're warming all the muscles of the leg, and our rise is all the muscles in our feet. Let's go. Do first again. Bend and stretch. Don't lift those heels up. Now you can. And bend and stretch. And out to second. I'm going to have to shimmy along. Other leg this time. Bend and stretch. And up. So feel those calf muscles working. Flat against the wall. Point and let's finish beautifully. Take our arms down, bravo. Well done, folks. Okay, we have just got time to do some jumps. So I'm going to move my bar out of the way, and I'm going to teach you some jumping moves to get the feet warm, and then just as we're warm, it's time to end. But we will start a routine next time, everybody. So. Allegro means fast in music. It means to jump in ballet. I was about to say in Spanish, in French. Petit allegro, petit means small, small jumps. Grand allegro is big jumps like your big leaps. Luckily for you today, we are going to do petit allegro, which is small jumps. Four sautés, four changements, four spring point, run in a circle. If I'm running in a circle, the bar needs to move. Right. So we are going to have our feet in our first position like we have learned. You can put your hands on your hips to get rid of them if you want to. If you're used to ballet, you can do your arms in a bra bar, or you can even do them out to second if you like. So we'll get rid of them for now. It's lesson 1. I mean, chill out, Mrs. Bates. We are going to jump in the air and we are going to land our feet in exactly the same place. So you're going to bend your knees and you're going to whoop, whoop. I went straight up. I didn't go shifting about. Imagine you're being sucked in a tube, so you have to go straight up and you land again. And your toes point beautifully. So bend, boop, boop, and we land again with a nice soft landing. We're going to do 4 of them. That is a saute. All ready? 5, 6, 7, and then jump and jump and jump and jump. Brilliant. Okay. The next move is 4 changements. That means change. So you're going to change what foot is in front. So instead of landing with our heels together, you're going to slide one heel in, you know, like where there's like a little cubby hole just for it. It's like we were designed for ballet. It's going to land in front. So from here, jump and land one foot in front. Boop. Then you're going to jump and the other leg's going to go in front. Boop. Try again. Boop. And again. Boop. So 4 changes. Then a spring punt, like this, is where you jump, boom, and you land with one foot in front pointed. Now that doesn't need to have any weight on it. You should be able to lift it at any point. Try and change. Boop. And change and change. 4 of them, and then we're going to run in a circle. La 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 la. Back to the first, ready to go again. So, 4 jumps landing in first. And then you swap foot, swap foot, swap foot, swap foot, point in front, point in front, point in front, point in front, run! We're going to do this every lesson, so we will get better. Just chucking it up, you pals. Where is my Allegro Musica? Isn't that how fast it is? Ready? It's not ready. 3, and jump! And swap! Ambitious when I chose that music. That's us, everyone. That is our ballet and that is our lesson for today. If you feel like you need to do any stretches, I'm not going to add a cool down on at the end. Do you know a cool down by now? So have a good stretch. And that is us for this week. Not this week, for today. I'll see you again on Thursday. Thank you.